Bigfoot research, 19 April 2012. Bone found in Bigfoot hot zone. Analysis of bone found on 4 April 2012, along with analysis of other bones found in the area over the previous years.
Came up on this leg bone. I think it's leg bone. I don't know if it's leg bone or not. Okay. It's that bone that we looked at. And, to me that looks like a wrist, a wrist end. But, I'm not a bone expert, so.
The bottom where the hoof goes.
Yeah.
After doing a little research, we found out that the bone was actually an elk thumb bone from the front leg of an elk. This is the bone that attaches the hoof to the knee. One of the things that caught our eye when we were investigating the bone was the stress cracks that seemed to be originating from near the joints to going towards the mid part of the bone. Almost as if something had been putting pressure on the bone lengthwise. Very interesting. These stress fractures or cracks may give us an indication as to how the elk was killed. This picture of a cow elk gives you somewhat of an idea of what I'm going to be talking about as to how Bigfoot kills elk. If you notice the hind legs, the way they are built, they act as shock absorbers, and basically if something was hit them in the rear end, their legs basically fold pretty easy without breaking bones. However, take a look at the front legs. They're almost straight down and locked in position. If an 800-pound Bigfoot was to hit the elk just behind the shoulders with his full weight, like dropping out of a tree or jumping off of a large rock or something, and catching this elk, it would basically put stress fractures along the bone because the knees are locked and it's straight down into the ground. The pressure goes straight into the ground. So would it work if the Bigfoot jumped out of a tree and landed just in front of the pelvic bone? The answer is probably not. The reason being is the closer you get to the pelvic bone, the larger the vertebrae in the back become and the more support they can handle. However, on the front legs, just behind the shoulders, the vertebrae are not so powerful or not so heavy duty. So 800 pounds landing on the back right there would basically break the back and thus kill the elk. I might add, if they're using the same techniques for deer, not only would it break the back of the deer, but the legs would also break, and chances are it would break just above the knees. So do we think it's a bear or a mountain lion or even a jaguar that's killing most of the elk in this particular area? I don't think so. The stress fractures on the legs show that there was a very large blow or some very heavy weight that was hit the bones lengthwise, causing the fractures. It is our opinion that the elk are killed by breaking their backs, and this is done by either hiding in a tree or jumping from an ambush point such as a rock, or possibly even hiding until an elk walks by and then they jump high in the air and come down on the elk's back. It's like karate, trying to break bricks You have to know what you're doing, precisely where to hit, and how hard to hit. The next thing that caught our attention was the teeth marks on the bones. Yes, there were some sharp scratches near the ends of the bones, like a sharp-toothed animal such as a coyote may have chewed on it. But what we were really interested in was the large, flat-shaped teeth that took bites out of the edges of the bone. Bears don't have flat teeth, neither do lions or coyotes. So basically, some of these bites or some of the teeth marks were almost a half an inch in diameter, or not diameter, but in length. So it's a large, very large, flat-toothed animal that was chewing on this bone. And I don't think elk chew on elk.
And I don't know, this looks like large flat teeth to me. Look around, see if I can find any other evidence.
Let's take a look at other bones that were found in years past. A single rib bone found under another spruce tree buried in the peat.
Okay, I found the first one, but Preston found more. They're big, huge backbones, I think. Backbones of something big. We will take one or two with us. Yeah, we're finding more bones.
In going through my records, one thing stood out, and that was the sheer number of thumb bones that we're finding. We have found other skeletal remains, but not anywhere near the number of leg bones that we're finding. This leads us to believe that there is a pecking order in dividing up the carcass or the body. We believe that different parts go to different people or different Bigfoot. In human tradition, the hunter, or the person that kills the animal, gets the heart and the liver. Then it's divided amongst the rest of the clan according to their pecking order. I don't know what it is, so we're going to go over and look at it. Yeah, it's deer. Okay, this is the bed. And yes, there has been something in here. There's prints. It's not since the last rain, but something's been in here eating that deer. Notice how all the bones are picked clean. They're not really broken and chewed. They're mostly intact. That's not typical of a predator. Predator, those leg bones back there, be chewed for the marrow. They'll break them and get the marrow out of the center. So this thing has been picked clean.
Yeah, it has.
So we can definitely tell it's a deer.
Very interesting. The kids found this right there in the bottom of the creek. Is under the water. It's 2 footprints. Looks like there's 1 footprint right over there. So something's been right here, and it came out here, and I just found this just a few seconds ago. a deer bone.
Deer leg.
Characteristic of the Bigfoot kill is the leg is broke right above the knee joint. That's typical